special book, or a book amongst all books that's better than the others. I'm a name dropper. If you hang around me long enough, I'll find somebody that you know, that I know, that we know together. Maybe we're even related. I've met some important people in my life. Shook hands with Willie Nelson backstage at Children in 1973 when I was a student here. Shook Bill Clinton's hand when he dedicated the wharf in New Orleans back in the 1990s. And a high five, Team Elijah Walker, on his way down the court, where he taught a bunch of boys who wanted his autograph. He said, "No, time to go to work." It's good to know your proper place in life, when it's time to play, when it's time to work, when it's time to do the necessary thing. I'm going to throw a name at you, and I'm not sure if you know who this person is. I've never met him, but I know the daughter of one of his friends. His name is Norman Borlaug. Anybody know Norman Borlaug? Norman Borlaug. He is an agronomist. He's responsible for hybridizing grains that has literally saved the life of 1 billion people on this planet. And he won a Nobel Prize for that in the 1990s. Norman Borlaug. Some would say that he's the person responsible for saving the lives of 1 billion people. But some might say that it was a different guy. That Henry Wallace was responsible for saving the lives of 1 billion people, because Henry Wallace was the Secretary of Agriculture who bought the land in Mexico that Norman Borlaug did his work in hybridization. But then again, some people might even suggest that it wasn't Henry Wallace, but it was George Washington Carver that saved the lives of 1 billion people, because George Washington Carver was teaching at Iowa State University when he would take Henry Wallace, a young boy whose father taught him faculty, and they would walk through grain fields around Ames, Iowa. You see how this goes, right? You see how influence happens in our life. But here's what you probably don't know, is that there was a woman named Etta Mae Budd. Etta Mae Budd was the daughter of the president of Iowa State University, who had gone back east to get her degree in music and art. She taught painting and piano, and was teaching at Simpson College, and was close to Iowa State. And she had a student who was the son of a former slave after the Civil War by the name of George Washington Carver. And Etta Mae Budd pulled him aside and said, "You probably not going to make a lot of money painting fields of grain. You might want to think about working in those grain fields and doing something." And so maybe it might be that Etta Mae Budd is responsible for saving the lives of 1 billion people on the planet. Roy J. Enquist. Anybody know the name Roy J. Enquist? Roy J. Enquist. He was 83 years old. He died in April of this year. And Roy J. Enquist was a professor on TLC then, now TLU campus, in the theology department, who I took my introduction to theology class from. I came here as a student in 1972 to be a sociology major, and with Stephen Stills and the rest of us, so imagine we're going to change the world. I'm not sure our generation's done what we intended to. We may have messed up some things along the way too. I washed my hands for a couple of weeks after I found out Bill Clinton had that Monica Lewinsky thing going on. But we're always influencing people in one way or another, and that's how that works. Roy Enquist came to me in January of 1973, caught me in the library, and he got right in my face and said, "Brian, have you thought about going to seminary?" I laughed. The last thing in my life that I was ever going to be was a parish pastor. 251B on a list of possible jobs. So that's 251B. I said, "Why would you even suggest that to me, Dr. Enquist?" Now, I like the way you wrote in my class last semester. I like the way you think and the things that you say. And the church needs people like you. Lowly. But you know, your thing that you do is bread of life. Right? Bread of life. It takes a whole bunch of stuff to make the bread go. And Jesus said, "You are the bread of life. You are the light of the world. You are the yeast in the world that makes the world a great place." Etta Mae Budd understood that, and so did George Washington Carver. And so did Henry Wallace, obviously known the moral out there. And the people in Stockholm figured that out too. Isn't that one of the Nobel Prize winners in Stockholm? And they awarded him for that kind of work. And it doesn't happen over a weekend. It doesn't happen over a weekend. It takes a long time to get that kind of stuff done. 38 years ago, I was a freshman on this campus. I met guys like Joey Miller, who grew up here in Sweden, one of my best and lifelong friends. Did Kirk Huntsman make it to chapel this morning? Kirk Huntsman? His dad, Dr. Huntsman? Did you have class? Who has a class with Dr. Huntsman? Yeah. So I found out last night at the volleyball course that his son did a presentation at some campus group meeting, and Dr. Huntsman's son Kirk and I worked together in the sporting department at Sears and Roebuck at Windsor Park Mall in 1976. He was still in high school and I was coaching him. Isn't that funny? 38 years later, I'm talking to him on the phone last night, so I'm in a meeting over in the business department. I'll try to make it a challenge. Maybe I'll see you before I leave. I haven't seen him since 1976. It'd be nice to meet her. I'm talking about old times with Tom Cross, the crazy guy from the Sears Sport District. So be kind to yourselves. Be patient with yourselves. You're part of the bread of life that makes life worth living. Bread of life that saves the lives of billions of people, not just in their bellies, but in their hearts and their souls and their minds. What I'd like to do now is just let you be quiet for a second. I know you live kind of a frenetic life as a college student or faculty member or small person here on campus. Take just a moment. Think about the people in your life who have been influencers to you, that have helped you get to where you are at this particular moment in your life. And maybe for a second, because you can think 50,000 times faster than you can talk. Isn't that amazing? I can think 50,000 times faster than I can talk. My wife says that's just an incredible piece of information. For a moment, just think of the people in your life who have influenced you, and perhaps those who influenced them that you might not even know. And then turn the corner real quick and think of the people who are in your life sphere right now that look to you as a person of influence, and to give thanks to God for those people who trust you, and then to pray for those who will be influenced by them, and the ones who they influence as well. Perhaps people that you will never know, because I know Etta Mae Budd never thought that she would be responsible for setting in motion a chain of events to save the lives of many people. Let me drop one more name on you. Jesus, for he did it, and that makes all the difference. Amen. Close your eyes and pray.